It was not an accident. It was not a fall. Theo Silverton was struck in the head, deliberately, intentionally, fatally. The pathologist's report is in, and Coronation Street has just shifted this storyline into an entirely different gear. We are no longer asking who the victim is. We are asking who the killer is. And tonight, the show handed us something that has sent the fan community into complete meltdown: an official suspect lineup. 6 people. 6 secrets. 1 murderer. Let's get into it. For anyone catching up, here is what you need to know. Theo Silverton arrived on Coronation Street as the seemingly devoted new partner of Todd Grimshaw, a fan favorite played with enormous skill by Gareth Pierce. What unfolded over the following months was one of the most uncomfortable and emotionally resonant storylines the show has produced in years, a slow, suffocating portrait of psychological abuse and coercive control. Theo, played by James Cartwright, systematically dismantled Todd's confidence, isolated him from the people who loved him, and revealed himself to be a deeply dangerous and manipulative man. He also carried a darker history. His affair with Todd had destroyed his marriage to Danielle, and earlier in the storyline, it emerged that he was connected to the death of one of Summer Spellman's adoptive dads and had subjected the other to vicious torment. Theo was not simply unpleasant. He was genuinely monstrous. So when his body was found, it is fair to say that the list of people with reasons to want him gone was a long one. The question was always going to be which of those people actually acted on it. Tonight answered the first critical question. DS Lisa Connorswain and DC Kit Green received the pathologist's findings, and the result was unambiguous. Theo did not fall from that scaffolding. He was struck in the head. This is a murder inquiry now, officially, irreversibly, with all the weight and consequence that brings. Kit, characteristically sharp, made it clear he had never entertained the idea of this being an accident for even a moment. The 2 detectives are now fully locked in, and the pressure on everyone in Todd's circle is about to become immense. What followed was one of the most stylishly constructed sequences Coronation Street has delivered in recent memory. A montage closed out the episode, and it was loaded with meaning. Danielle Silverton, played by the returning Natalie Anderson, laid flowers at the scene of her ex-husband's death. George Shuttleworth sat quietly reading an online article about the killing. Gary Windass, and this one landed like a thunderbolt, was seen watching CCTV footage of himself taking a sledgehammer to Theo's van. And Summer Spellman was shown with her journal open, a page filled with her own handwriting and 4 words that stopped viewers cold. Theo is a monster. As the montage played out over Kit and Lisa theorizing about whether Todd's loved ones could have committed the crime, Todd himself was shown sobbing in his old flat, reliving the worst of what Theo had put him through. Kit said quietly that if he had been dehumanized the way Todd was, he would have done the exact same thing. It was chilling, compassionate, and absolutely brilliant television. And then Coronation Street did something that has sent social media into overdrive. They revealed the official suspect graphic. 6 names. 6 faces. The whodunit phase of this murder mystery has formally begun. So let us talk about each of them, because every single one of these suspects has a compelling case to answer. Starting with Danielle. As Theo's ex-wife, she watched her marriage collapse when Theo began his affair with Todd and then left her to build a new life with him. The humiliation and heartbreak of that alone would be enough. But Danielle is back in Weatherfield, and the fact that she chose to lay flowers at the scene raises immediate questions. Is that grief or guilt? There is something deeply ambiguous about her presence in this story, and Natalie Anderson is a performer capable of playing that ambiguity to devastating effect. Then there is Gary Windass. If you know Gary's history, you know that seeing his face on a murder suspect list is never something to take lightly. Gary has a past that includes violence committed in the name of protection and justice, and his feelings about bullies are something the show has established very clearly over many years. He and Theo were once genuinely close, a friendship that curdled into something far darker when Gary realized he had been manipulated. The CCTV footage of him destroying Theo's van tells you everything about where his rage had taken him. Could it have taken him further? Summer is perhaps the most emotionally complex suspect on the list. Her journal entry, "Theo is a monster," could be read as the raw, furious catharsis of a young woman grieving what Theo took from her and from the people she loves. But it could also read as something else entirely. Summer is perceptive, protective, and fiercely loyal to Todd. The show has been careful to establish her growing understanding of just how dangerous Theo was. Whether that understanding led her to take action is the question nobody can quite answer yet. George Shuttleworth is another whose protective instincts are absolutely central to his character. Watching him absorb the news of Theo's death through a screen, quietly, privately, with an unreadable expression, was one of the episode's most loaded images. And then there is Christina Boyd, George's partner. Could she have acted out of love for George, either alongside him or instead of him, to remove the threat that Theo represented? And finally, Todd himself. Running from Theo in the aftermath of his escape, fearing for his life, pushed beyond what any person should have to endure, could he have decided that the only way to truly be free was to end it? Kit's words, that he would have done the exact same thing, hang over Todd's storyline like a shadow that is not going anywhere. The fan reaction to tonight's episode has been extraordinary. The suspect montage in particular has dominated discussion online, with viewers dissecting every frame for clues. The Gary CCTV reveal has predictably sparked the loudest reaction, with many convinced it makes him look the most incriminated of the six. But there is also a very vocal corner of the audience convinced that Coronation Street is deliberately making Gary look guilty precisely because he is not the one who did it. This show rarely hands you the answer easily. And that is exactly why it is so gripping right now. Weatherfield has a murderer in its midst. Kit and Lisa are getting closer. And 6 people are carrying secrets that are already beginning to weigh on them. The whodunit phase is here, and it is going to be spectacular. So who do you think killed Theo? Is it Gary with his history and that devastating CCTV footage? Is it Todd, finally pushed to the absolute limit? Or is it someone the show is deliberately keeping quieter, waiting for the moment to pull the rug out? Tell us your theory in the comments. We genuinely cannot wait to read them. If you enjoyed this video, a like goes a long way and we truly appreciate every single one. And if you want to stay across every development in this storyline as it unfolds, subscribe now so you never miss an update. We will see you in the next one.